Hello everyone and welcome to another video of the Sky channel. So if you are playing Raid Shadow Legends, you probably know that there are so many things that you can buy and so many things that you can spend money on. And you're probably wondering, what really is the best return on investment for spending my money? Should I be getting the mythical tombs, which honestly I've been looking at and I've been like, wow, I should really start collecting these because I might get a mythical hero and these things are hard to come by. Or should you be investing in, let's say, some chickens or some other things that can help your account get a little stronger? Well, in this video, we're going to cover some of the good value of investments that I believe you should be spending on. And we'll start with the most valuable, and then we'll talk about some things that you can buy if you really want to. All right, let's start with something that I think that everyone really should get. The daily gem pack. Now this is about $10 and you get more than 2100 gems. Now gems are pretty hard to come by and they can be used to buy a lot of different things, right? You go to the gem shop, there's pretty much all the things that you might need, especially full energy, or even if you want to buy some ancient shards for any particular reason, or if you're like, you know what, I want to get some arena refills or experience or you name it, right? You can get it using gems. So gems are extremely valuable, and one of the cheapest prices for gems that I've found so far is a daily gem pack. Because if you go and buy 2025 gems from the bank, that's 70 Canadian dollars or about 50 US dollars. You're getting more than this amount. I believe it was 2160 or something, but I could be wrong, but it was more than 2100 for 10 US dollars. 10 versus 50. So you can just think about the value that you're getting for your money by going ahead with the daily gem pack. Now, you are probably going to be doing a lot of tournaments. A lot of cool things that I actually get them from ranking high in tournaments. For example, there's a spider tournament going on. The awards aren't as cool as some other tournaments, but you know what? I wouldn't mind getting an ancient shard or even a 4-star chicken, and of course the coins that I can use to get a new soul. They're good prizes. And in certain other tournaments, you could get stuff like legendary skill tombs too if you rank high enough. So tournaments give you a lot of value, and of course, to rank high in tournaments, you're generally going to be needing a lot of energy. And energy can be purchased using gems, right? So in a way, you're not really buying gems. You're buying yourself anything that you might need at any particular time. So gem pack, one of the best investments. I would definitely recommend that you buy it. The other thing that I found really valuable was the Forge Pass. Now you might have heard some people talk about it. It is actually really nice. So the top row is pretty much free. I believe even if you do the daily challenges, as long as you don't miss them, I think you can get up to level 50. So you get a bunch of free stuff anyway. Then if you look at the bottom part, you get a bunch of pretty cool stuff, and that requires you to purchase the gold pass. Now the gold pass I believe is 20 US dollars. But if you look at the items, you're getting a lot of silver, you're getting a bunch of these runes that can be used to increase specific stats like speed or attack, right? You're getting a bunch of accessories that you can use, and of course you are getting stuff that you can use in the forge for your equipment. You're even getting buffs that give you extra experience and silver. Overall, it's a really good deal, and I think I'm pretty happy with it, right? There was also a final reward for reaching level 50 and having the gold pass, which is a bunch of mythical equipment of the instinct type. I don't know if I'm going to be using it, but you know what? It's good to have, and who knows what they might offer in the next Forge Pass. So I think this is a good investment. Now the Forge Pass also came with another option. If you wanted, you could actually pay I think 55 US dollars, and that way you can actually get the Gold Pass plus 25 levels immediately. That is probably not a good investment. As I mentioned, even completely free, just by doing the daily challenges, you can get to level 50. The moment you get a Gold Pass, you unlock a lot of other ways for you to get a lot of the experience to take you to higher levels. It's about 60 extra experience in each of the 4 weeks, and 60 is equal to 6 levels. So in other words, you just unlocked 24 levels extra that you can get without having to spend any extra money. So if you can get to 50 from the daily challenges for free, plus 24 from the weekly challenges, you can get to level 74 for free. At that point, you start to understand that paying so much extra money to get 25 levels is probably paying money just to get stuff a week or so earlier. And honestly, that's not worth it. But it's up to you, of course. The other thing that was offered shortly after I started playing was called the Apprentice Pass. The concept, very similar. There's the free stuff that you get at the top row, and there was some paid stuff that you get at the bottom row. I found it to be really valuable. Not only did I get a bunch of stuff that I really needed to upgrade my characters when I really needed them because I had just started playing the game, I also got a really nice champion that I didn't have before, like Rector Drath. And Rector Drath is one of the champions that I continue to use even now while it's been more than a month of me playing. So a very, very helpful champion, and I'd say it has helped me go really far. So I personally consider the Apprentice Pass a really good investment. And they also gave a bunch of 5-star chickens, right? And 5-star chickens, the moment you get 5 of them, you can get a 6-star hero. And that's important as well, right? Even right now, I'm trying to get a few of my heroes to 6-star. That's like a constant challenge. You always want to have a few more 6-star champions. So that's really helpful, right? Otherwise, you got to do a huge grind to get yourself enough fodder champions to actually get a 6-star champion. So, good deal, I'd say. And if I went back in time, I'd definitely purchase it again. So those are the 3 most important things, I believe. And those are the things that I would definitely recommend that you purchase. After that, you can always explore what is available in the limited time offers and the daily and progressions to see what is giving you a good return on investment. I probably wouldn't go into the packs and buy stuff from there because anything that you buy here would probably be available at a cheaper price at certain point of time in the limited special offers or perhaps daily and progression awards because packs are always going to be available. So generally, I assume that this would always be a little bit higher than those, eye-catching deals that they offer in here because of course these are limited time. They're expected to give you a better value and that's why they're limited time, right? Otherwise, why would anyone want to buy the limited time deals? They'd just go to the packs and buy stuff anyway. The stuff here changes quite often, and sometimes, or let's say a lot of times, they are linked to an active event, and that's how they do convince you to spend. If there's an active event, you want to rank it a little bit higher, you're going to get a bunch of free stuff with the event anyway because of ranking higher, so it sweetens the deal a little bit. Now, depending on where you're stuck at, what you may want to get might be different. Now, initially, we talked about the mythical skill tombs and how it's very attractive. Well, you know what? Perhaps it might be best for you to wait and see if you get a mythical champion, because mythical champions don't seem to be that easy to get before you actually start buying mythical skill tombs and then realize that, you need a legendary skill tomb instead and feel tempted to just use the mythical skill tomb on a legendary champion and waste a bunch of money in the process. The deals on mythical skill tombs are probably going to exist, and they will probably exist at the time when you need a mythical skill tomb, because I think the game is smart enough to figure out what you're willing to spend and when you're willing to spend it. There may not be that much of a need to start buying a bunch of mythical skill tombs before you actually get your mythical champion, while you could be investing in, let's say, legendary skill tombs, which you actually need at that particular moment, and worry about mythical skill tombs when you actually have mythical champions. Now, the value of legendary skill tombs is something that I really wanted to find. So I did a bunch of searching and, tried to figure out what's a good deal for it. And there are websites that you can find which actually do give you an approximate value of packs that include skill tombs. So you can go ahead and take a look at those and see the relative value that you're getting when you're purchasing, let's say, the skill tombs. I believe the website's name was Ayumi where I found it, but they do give you a certain value for each of the packs. And you can go through the packs and see if that's a good return on investment or if you should be waiting on a different deal on another day, which might give you a better pack. So that's the skill tombs. Chickens is something that's definitely always tempting. But you know what? The skill tombs give you something that you really can't get without actually getting a skill tomb, right? You cannot upgrade the skills without having a skill tomb. You can upgrade your champions without having a chicken. What I'm trying to say is that if you grind enough, you can upgrade a 1-star champion to 5-star and use it just like a 5-star chicken without spending a single dollar. So certain things like chickens are saving you time. You don't necessarily need them, it's a shortcut. Skill tombs, on the other hand, you necessarily need them. You could get them from tournaments or missions and whatnot, but at the end of the day, you do need a tomb to get that upgrade. And tombs are generally much harder to get, right? It's not like you can just go ahead and be like, starting now, I'm going to grind a specific tomb using a bunch of my energy. Now, of course, you could if you have, let's say, some of those achievements that you have to get or some of those missions that you need to complete, but it's not as straightforward as just grinding a level in the campaign until your champion gets max level and then starring it up and then, doing the same thing again. It's a little bit trickier. So when it comes to chickens versus tombs come out to be more valuable in my eyes because you definitely need the tombs and they're not that easy to get, versus chickens, as long as you have enough energy, you can get it. The raid cards, I've read a little bit about this. People say that, raid cards are a little bit helpful, especially if you're an iPhone user, because you get a bunch of extra experience and silver, but actually it's about the 70 multi-battle attempts that everyone was talking about, saying that that's a big value that you get from this, and that helps if you're an iPhone user. But they also mentioned that if you're using BlueStacks, it probably might not be as helpful because you can just have it in the background running, versus in an iPhone, it provides you much more value because you can't just keep your phone on all the time. The beginner progress and veteran progress, I never really saw that as a really good deal. I mean, I expected it to be a really good deal, right? It's a beginner progress, you can only get this once and all that stuff, but $50 for one void shard, 3 ancient shards, and a few gems didn't really impress me. And then veteran progress is even more, $100, and they're also adding all of these difficult to get milestones like level 55 to get 1 sacred shard, 1500 gems, 3 void shards, and 10 ancient shards. I don't know. It didn't impress me. I mean, perhaps the veteran progress impressed me a little bit more than the beginner progress because they're just giving ancient shards and you get a bunch of them anyway, which really made me wonder why somebody would want to buy the beginner progress. Veteran progress, perhaps, you want an ancient shard for some particular reason, but even then, $100 is really expensive. I'm definitely not going to buy this. It's up to you if you think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth it. And then, of course, we talked about the bank. Generally speaking, anything that you get in the bank may likely be available for a cheaper price at a certain time in the limited special offers, right? Those things change frequently. Keep an eye on it, and perhaps you'll find something that you need at a much better price than you can get from the bank. Now, remember, if you're thinking of purchasing anything in Raid Shadow Legends, you can save a lot of money by using Aptoide and using my promo code there. You can get between 10 to 35% cashback anytime you purchase anything. So if you buy a $100 pack, you're getting $10 to $35 back for you to purchase additional packs. You can save a lot of money in the process, and I have a whole video where I describe the whole process end to end. So do check out that video and make sure you're using our promo code. The video is going to be in the description of this video, or you can click the button that's going to appear at the top right of the screen to take you to that video. And if you have any questions, join our Discord and I can guide you through the process personally. I know you're going to appreciate it, so please do give it a shot, or at least check it out and see what you're missing. So that's all I wanted to talk about in this video. I hope it was helpful for you. Feel free to add additional insights in the comments section below and let me know how you think is a better way to spend money, or how you've been spending money so far. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.